You don't eliminate it, but where you really limit it. And then there are unsafe ways by, like, taking 3 groups and going to Q's and brews and mixing with everybody else who's there. I mean, we're going to have to make those choices. Life is all about choices. It's going to be inconvenient. It's an unprecedented time. And the more diligent that we are, the more quickly that we get through it. So you just got to start taking bites of the elephant, do the best that you can to control what you can. And that's the answer. As I'm right there with you, it's not going to be fun. It's going to be less social. It's a sacrifice. And you guys know that student athletes, as elite athletes, which is what you are, really, you're also used to making sacrifices. So call on that ability now as well.
Then we have a couple more questions. The next one is, if you have asthma, how will wearing a mask during working out, what does that look like?
Yeah, that we need to sit down and address that with our medical staff and athletic training staff, because we don't want to put you in a more dangerous situation with one of your health concerns. So certainly if you have asthma or an autoimmune condition or some risk factor, then we need to work with Dustin and Dr. Andrus and Dr. Solbrig to decide what the best method of training for you is. And until we have medical sign off on that and we're comfortable and you're comfortable that you're safe, then we're not going to be training and exposing you to risk. So first order of business is get with Dustin and the right medical staff, because I don't know the answer to that, but I suspect that training in a mask is not going to be healthy for you. And we don't want to make it more risky than, having more exposure, or maybe we need to find out a way that you're able to work out without outside of a training group for a period of time, so that you can be less diligent about the mask, at least during that workout. Dustin, anything to weigh in on that question?
Not right now. It's been one of my big processes of going through. One of the things that we do know with it is if we have someone with asthma or any of those autoimmune diseases or any underlying conditions, that we will run everything by and through with our doctors before we are going to allow participation on that front, because we have to look out for your safety and well-being.
Pauline, we have one last question. Why are we required to be there to work out and train this summer in Idaho when we don't have enough tests to know who has the virus or not? We are mandated to be working out with lots of other people, and I have no idea if they're even following safety precautions.
Yeah, so the reason that we're here working out is because the decision at this point is that there will be a season. And we need you to be healthy enough and in condition enough to compete in that season safely. There's not enough testing available anywhere to do mass testing, but there is enough testing available to do the testing of symptomatic people and to isolate the way that is recommended. There's enough testing available to follow the recommendations. We're erring on the side of caution. The shutdown last week was more comprehensive than it needed to be for that reason. But I will add to that during this time period, if you feel you are at risk or somehow in danger, then you come see me, and there's not going to be a penalty for you not being here in the summer if you don't want to be here. And that's just part of taking control of your own health. But I do know that if you're here and you're training and you're adhering to all the precautions and you're taking control of your health and doing your best, that you're in the safest situation that you can be wherever you are. A lot of that is those safety measures are in place to protect you. But if you don't feel comfortable being here, then come speak with me and we will arrange for you to not be here. But we also want you to be healthy should play go forward. And we're acting at every point. So when the decision was made to go forward with summer, we were acting on the very best information that we had about the cases across the country, about what the fall was going to look like, about the fact that phases in every state and county were advancing to more and more open. Now we're acting according to the best information that's available, and we're continuing to be cautious. And if you're not a fall sport, and if you don't have summer access, we're encouraging you not to be here. Even volleyball and soccer, I said, let's wait till the last possible day to get you here. So as student athletes and the people that we put as our number one priority, you have a choice. And if you're in the middle of a choice that you don't feel good about right now, all you have to do is come and see me.
Pauline, that I think wraps up our questions for tonight. So I'll turn it back over to you for any closing thoughts you have.
Okay. So I'm sorry that so frequently tonight I had to say I don't know, or I'm not sure, or that decision's coming, but I think it's good for you to know where things are with the big sky and what's coming next. The biggest points that I have for you are that, the decisions we're making are all going to be made in your best interest, that you are going to have a self-determination in this in terms of how you take care of your own health and what you want to do in terms of how you're going to address your playing season this year. That question, we need to address that together in terms of making sure you're okay NCAA wise, and that you understand before you make a decision how the things that are outside of our control, like NCAA rules, will impact the rest of your career. So we're going to support you in those decisions, but we're also going to lay on the table what the options are for waivers and all of those kinds of things. But we'll support you in every one of them. And then be patient and understand that this is changing rapidly. And I think that we'll know a lot more by the end of next week. But this is a time when I want to point out that our very small and growing, because we have hired some new ones that are en route, but athletic training staff is making a very heavy lift right now, trying to figure out all of these changing regulations and the ways to keep us safe, and pretty much working 24/7 to get it right. And it takes a little time, and sometimes things change on a dime, and what was true yesterday isn't true tomorrow, and we have to say, okay, there's a new policy in place. So your patience and your flexibility and your understanding in those situations is appreciated. But I also know you need to know the why behind those decisions. And I always welcome your questions or your emails, or I'm pretty sure everybody on the planet has my cell phone number, your texts and your calls. So I appreciate all of you. I was anxious to see your faces on this call tonight. I love it when you stop by. If you come to my office, I will have a mask. I won't be in till next week because I did take my daughter to school, and so I'm gonna make sure that I'm feeling good and that I don't have any issues before I return. But just know that we're here to take your questions, and you are pretty much the center of the universe, like Coach Fia, I think, expressed it better than I ever could. You guys are the reason we're here. We want to do the right thing by you. So if your parents have questions, if you have questions, I'm happy to jump on a Zoom call with just you and your folks, or with you, or call me, email me. Everyone here is available for you, and we're going to get you answers as soon as we have more answers. But know that things are very much up in the air, and we're going to pivot and be ready for what comes, and that in time we're going to get through all this. And you, as college student athletes, you are going to see a time again when you can train with your team, and when you can go out and destroy people and other teams and compete. We're going to get there again, and I don't want you to start feeling just extremely discouraged. I know that's easy, but we'll get there. We'll get back to it. So thanks for coming out tonight. I appreciate 3 pages of faces is awesome. And I loved seeing every one of you. Okay. Have a great night.
Thank you, Pauline.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Polly.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye.